Hey, this is Alex, and this is lesson 11 for 7th grade math. So for this first part here, they want you to evaluate the following expressions given the functions below. So number one, it's g of 2. So this is just g of x when x is equal to 2. So to solve this, just plug in 2 for x. So this would be 2 times 2 plus 1. You're just substituting 2 into x. So 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5 is your answer for number 1. Number 3, it's h of 3. So h of x when x is equal to 3. So if you plug that in, it's negative 1 times the quantity of negative 3 plus 3. And negative 3 plus 3 is just 0. So your answer is just 0 for number 2. Number 3, j of x when x is equal to negative 1. So if you plug in negative 1, it's 100 over negative 1 squared. And negative 1 squared is just 1. So it's 100 over 1. And 100 over 1 is just 100. Let's do number 9. There's a 2 on the outside. So this is just saying that you're multiplying 2 to whatever quantity you get for g of 5. So this is 2 times, then you plug in 5 for x in g of x. So it's 2 times 5 plus 1. So it's 10 plus 1. And if you simplify this, it's 2 times 11. And 2 times 11 is just 22. Okay, so for number 10, it's just like number 9. But it's j of 2, so j of x is 100 over x squared. So it's 5 times 100 over 2 squared, since you're plugging in 2 for x. So this is 5 times 100 over 4. And 100 divided by 4 is just 25. And 5 times 25 is 125. Okay, number 11, 4 times g when g of x when x is equal to negative 3. And g of x is 2x plus 1. So 4 times 2 times negative 3 plus 1. And this is negative 6 plus 1. So it's 4 times negative 5. And 4 times negative 5 is 20, or negative 20. So that's your answer for number 11. If you look at number 18 here, there's 2. So basically what you're doing is just subtracting whatever you get for j of 2 and h of 4. So j of x is 100 over x squared. So 100 over 2 squared. You're subtracting this by h of x and x is 4, and h of x is negative 1 times the quantity of negative x plus 3. So negative 4 plus 3. And simplify this is 100 over 4. And the two negatives here make a positive. So it's plus negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So it's negative 1. And 100 over 4 is 25. So 25 minus 1, which is just 24. Okay. So this next portion is about negative and 0 exponents. Um, whenever you have a zero or a number raised to the power of zero, it's always going to be one, no matter how small or how big it is. So for number one, it's a to the power of zero, and that's just one. Number two, a to the power of negative n. When you have a negative exponent, um, you're basically just simplifying this by like getting the reciprocal. So a to the power of negative n, the reciprocal of this is just 1 over a to the power of n, and you get rid of the negative. Okay, so to get rid of this negative, just take the reciprocal. So this is how you simplify it. 1 over a to the power of n. Number 3 is 3 to the power of negative 2. So this is a good example of number 2. To get rid of this negative, you're just taking the reciprocal. So the reciprocal will be 1 over 3 to the power of 2. And 3 to the power of 2 is just 9, so it's just 1 over 9. Number 4 is negative 7 to the power of 0. And like I said before, no matter how big or how small the number is, whenever you raise it to the power of 0, it's just 1. Okay. Um, let's do number 6 here. It's 0 to the power of negative 5. And this is kind of a trick question because this can't happen, right? It's 0 to the power of something. 0 to the power of 2 is just 0. But this is just 0. Okay. So this next portion here, this next page, number 1, 6 to the power of negative 4 times 6 to the power of 4. If you remember before, this is the rule that you need to know. When you're multiplying two numbers and they have the same base, then you could just add their exponents. So here, it's the same base of 6, right? So you could just multiply or add the two exponents together. So it's 6 to the power of negative 4 plus 4. Negative 4 plus 4 is just 0. So 6 to the power of 0, which is just 1. Okay. Here number 2, 4 to the power of negative 2 squared. And you could simplify this two ways. You just go ahead and simplify this first and then square it. But you could also just use this rule where if you're raising a number to another power, then you could just multiply these two exponents. So here, that means that this can become 4 to the power of negative 2 times 2. And that's equal to 4 to the power of negative 4. And 4 to the power of negative 4 means that you could take the reciprocal. So it's 1 over 4 to the power of 4. And 4 to the power of 4 is 16 times 16, or 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, which is just 1 over 256.